I don't know if this will make sense to the ordinary soul, especially to the young ones, but what we need to do is simply to awaken, to be awake. While we are caught in our delusions and the many things that confuse our senses, we need to come back to the present moment without thinking, without grasping. We need to know that while we plan and struggle to arrange the world in order to suit our little desires, much like the little prince, there is no certainty that in the end, we will all be better off. I know this sounds negative, but this is reality. There is no fairy tale ending. That we live happily ever after seems to point out an eternal happiness. But it is just that, a temporary ending cut at the happy point. It is one of our pet peeves. We'd love a happy ending, but no one takes pride of a happy ending. For one, you are not dead yet. Life continues and struggle continues. Life continues and you cannot therefore claim happiness forever and ever. All you can hope for is that despite the unhappiness, the obstacles, you and your loved ones may be happy. That's it. Oh, how selfish a man is, grasping, struggling to arrange and rearrange the world and its events as they will fit him. Let not the world suit you. Rather, you should aim to suit to the world. Because the world has been around you for billions and billions of years before you, and will be around for billions and billions of years after you. Day 43, 100 Meaningful Days. Was a sort of a counterpoint on what was read before this. This usually happens if I read aloud an article I've written like 4 or 5 years ago. Sometimes either a new insight comes or you realize and rethink that, hey, I may have sounded a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right, and maybe the listeners or the readers misinterpreted my article or my thoughts. It's like rearranging also your thoughts in your mind. And in reality, it tells you a lot of things. First, it tells you that there is no absolute point in the universe and in your own mind wherein all the tenets that you have believed as a young person, as a thoughtless person, or even as a thoughtful person, that it does not change. It's a move from being to becoming. I know it sounds, Heidegger-like or one of those philosophers, but maybe when I wrote this article, I was into Heidegger, and maybe that sort of influenced me. But what I'm trying to say is that when I say let not the world suit you, rather let yourself or let your mind or your being suit to the world, it doesn't preclude creativity and out of the box thinking and innovation. When I was reading that, immediately what pops to my head was the iconic gesture of Steve Jobs, and saying think different and we're going to change the world, those things. And of course, we know that certain individuals can shape the world in a way by their thoughts. And in reality, it's not just us, individually, but I think everybody is. But I think the main point of the article is, if it does happen, then it means that the world may be ready to change with you. What it is actually saying is that even if it does not, do not be sad nor happy if it does, because it's just you being part of the whole becoming phase. You may be the agent of change at that point in time, but it does not point to you alone. It does not make you proud of a super achievement like that. It's just you being part of the whole process. So while you aim to quote unquote change the world, I think what is best is for you to look into yourself and improve yourself little by little, 1% a day, each day, in order for you to improve and continually improve, and in the process change people around you and the small world that you live in. If it does not happen the way you envision it to be, do not grasp, nor be sad, nor be bitter, because in the end, the world changes as it does, within you and without you. So it does change with you as an agent of change, as a part of many agents of changes. But even if it does not, it's still okay, because eventually it will. Maybe beyond your lifetime, maybe after you're gone, but it doesn't make you a failure or a sad individual, because that's the way it is. So I think for me, that's the meaning of suiting to the world, not letting the world suit you, because the world is like a giant plan, or the giant becoming. I'm not talking about the earth, I'm talking the universe, the whole plan of everything from the very beginning of the universe, and the colliding of all the atoms, the release of all this energy, and the forming of all the planets and all the life in the universe. There's a plan for the universe. There's a becoming that's happening, and being part of that, insignificant as though we are part of that plan, and we have missions and we have individual destiny to fulfill, and the best that we can do is to fulfill that which is before us. But let us not grasp, let us not be so proud of our little achievement, and let us not also be bitter even if we did not make it, because in the end, the plan always does. In order to prove that there is intelligent life in the universe, I only point to the fact that they have not yet come to live with the quarrelsome, barbaric, and hateful humans. What intelligence! Consequently, since all our actions and words reverberates to the world and influences basically everything, let this be our hope. May my life, my words and action be a benefit to everyone I share my life with, to go beyond the illusion of separateness, but rather view our connectedness. #OneWorld. from Siddhartha Gautama Buddha on wise speech. I've heard this in one of those recordings of Jack Cornfield, and this is the message. In due season will I speak, truthfully will I speak, gently, not harshly, conducive to concord will my words be, with clear intention will I speak, and to their benefit will I speak, not to their loss. I think those words befits what wise speech really is. I mean, some people talk just because they want to be heard. As a young person, I said, speak not because you want to be heard, but speak because you want them to hear. The difference between the two is the first one points to the speaker, while the second one points to the message. A lot of people just babble their words just because they want to be seen or be heard by the world. It's the I, me, mine, I, me, mine, I, me, mine ideology of the world, especially the modern world, because maybe of extreme overpopulation. We have so many people all around the world, and they have so many likes and dislikes and focuses on life, right? And sometimes in all this confusion, you want yourself to be seen, to be put in the limelight, to be put in the camera, your 15 seconds or 15 minutes of fame. But these words of the Buddha tells us that wise speech is not you being heard, but rather that your message may benefit the others. Somehow it also recalls what St. Thomas Aquinas said in the 13th century. Of course, Buddha came first. He wrote that listen not to the person speaking, but rather to the words being spoken, or something like that. So the idea is that you can be wise, you can acquire wisdom, even if you're reading a book supposedly written by a pagan or Gentile. Those words are prevalent during his time, and I think he was the first one who insisted that the idea is not to burn Aristotle, but to understand Aristotle, because somehow he's speaking the truth. Maybe the same truth may come out of his writing, and if we believe that the truth is the same, one divine truth consistent with all the other truths, then there is no fear in your heart. So the idea is not to close the other books, but to read everything and somehow integrate it to the truth that will eventually set us free. So going back to the Buddhist tenet on wise speech, I think we must consider that and remember that in all our noisy day, in all the noise of our day, especially the noise inside our hearts, remember that we us use our speech in order to benefit others rather than be a burden to them. Sometimes when we speak, we attack another person, maybe unknowingly. When we speak, we make another person feel bad, or when you feel slighted, you will attack back, or give your own counter punch or something. So in the end, it does not end. But if we only learn to speak the words that will be beneficial for all, and in the timing that is needed, and in all the other times, then we should love silence. Come to think of it, I've been speaking for 6 minutes, and that is enough talking. And let us be silent now.